So we'll be doing a film breakdown slash review on Xavier McKinney today. I want to get to all the prospects at some point. I covered Andrew Thomas probably like a month and a half ago. I saw our own Anthony Rivardo did Matt Parrott already. Did a good job on that video, so check that one out as well. But this time we're going to start with Xavier McKinney. A lot of game tape against LSU here. I wanted to put it against some NFL competition and see how he did. Up and downs in this game. We'll go over it, of course. So McKinney's going to be up here, safety on top of the screen. The safety on the bottom here drops down as the play is snapped, and he has a one-on-one situation with running back Clyde Edwards-Helaire, a guy that I have an absolute man crush on. I think he's going to kill it with the Chiefs. Spin move there makes one guy miss, and then makes McKinney miss. So that was not what you want to see from your safety. I mean, of course, you want to see him make this tackle here. We'll see how he approached the play here. Kind of went like towards the outside. You see, he was kind of anticipating Edwards-Helaire was going to keep going on the outside, and you see he's just not squared up to him at all. And he kind of just guesses the wrong way. And then by the time he cuts back Edwards-Helaire, he's already past Xavier McKinney. So the tackling right there was not good, and definitely was not the only instance of this, unfortunately. We'll go over more later, but I think the problem here was definitely just not squaring up that tackle. He was just had his body faced the wrong way. He was kind of just guessing the way that Edwards-Helaire was going to, run the ball instead of reacting to it, and that's what happened. Here's another one where I didn't love what I saw, and I could be wrong. I wish we had like the all 22 version. Obviously, it's hard to see from this broadcast view where these safeties go when they go obviously out of the screen over here. So I'll just let this run, and I think he might have been the only highest safety. So he might have been between the hashes back here, so I can't really get on him too much. But I honestly I think the receiver here was running a wheel route. It might have been Justin Jefferson, honestly. And so he's going to make the catch on the sideline here, and I wish that McKinney got over there in time to make this play. Now, I do think he catches the ball. It's the broadcast kind of cuts off here based on the YouTube video, but McKinney does actually, no, that wasn't Justin Jefferson, my bad, but he didn't even make the tackle, but he went out of bounds anyway, so it was all right. But basically, I wish, because Joe Burrow, you see here, was just eyeballing this play the entire time. This slot receiver right here is going to run this wheel route, a little bit of a pick play here, gets in front of the cornerback, and I just wish Xavier McKinney was able to diagnose this sooner, because at this point, I understand he could have, looked off here and then went to the right side, but I wish McKinney kind of looked at his eyes a bit more and made a play on this ball. It's just, it's probably too much to ask for, honestly, and it's hard to tell where he was during the beginning of this play. I do think if he was in the middle of the hash marks, I really can't get on him too much. If he was on the left side of the hash marks, this is a play he's got to make and disrupt. So here's McKinney playing in like the box basically right here. He's very versatile for the way they used him here at Alabama. He's going to make a tackle this time on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'll let it play. And, he missed the tackle last time in the hole, and this time he actually makes it. It wasn't the best technique, and Edwards-Helaire was able to pick up a couple extra yards from the point of contact. It probably should have been a 1-yard gain, turned into more of a 3-yard gain. But anyway, I mean, the technique here is not terrible. He went a bit high, maybe. I mean, he tries to basically hit the ball out with his head, which I have seen a few times, and it has worked for him in the past. He's created some fumbles doing this by hitting the ball with the crown of his helmet. So he went a bit high on the tackle, obviously, and Edwards-Helaire was able to keep moving his feet and pick up some extra yardage. I think he was going for the ball, though, so I understand it from that perspective, but I kind of wish he went towards his thighs more, his waist, and kind of kept driving back instead of just going for the ball. So that's the one thing I would critique there, but outside of that, at least he got the job done and got the run stop, and now that creates a third and short. So I did mention before, he did miss, probably a handful of tackles in this game. We'll go over all of them. So McKinney is, now I forget where he's at. I think he's right here. I'm pretty sure. Let's let it roll. So pretty sure he's right here, number 15. He's going to get Justin Jefferson in the flat. And just, he basically just gives him a juke move and picks up a bunch of extra yards off of that. So I kind of wish he was better in the open field a bit, especially in this game. It wasn't terrible overall. So you basically see he passes off this receiver here. Definitely looks like zone defense. Then turns back around to see Justin Jefferson. The ball's already out. And at this point, I mean, he kind of over pursues to the sideline a bit. I understand it. So then Jefferson sees it, cuts back inside, and McKinney was just completely fooled by that. So those are the tackles you got to make. And if he had no help behind him, that could have been a massive gain. He only picks up probably an extra 10 yards or so. But, in the NFL, this kind of stuff's not going to fly. And, I mean, Justin Jefferson's definitely an NFL-type talent receiver. A guy went in the first round, I believe. So I get it. But at the same time, you would love to see your safety make this tackle and make the stop there. So nothing really happened with McKinney on this play, but I like seeing how these guys react in pass coverage. This was zone defense once again. McKinney's area, he's right here. He's going to be responsible for this area in the flat, basically, and we'll see how he reacts. It looked like Joe Burrow wanted to swing it to his guy right here, but it didn't happen. He, basically pursued it pretty well. Thaddeus Moss went for a flip, basically, it looks like. But as for McKinney, he does a good job here. I think he just basically sees his zone and then sees his guy break out. And you see right here, he sees it. He's going to, break forward, it looks like. He was ready for it. And I think Joe Burrow saw the same thing. You see Burrow right here is eyeing down the responsibility of McKinney, decides not to fire the ball because McKinney's waiting. This is probably a 1 or 2 yard gain at most, and Joe Burrow says, you know what, let's just look on the other side of the field. So I think McKinney did a good job with the reaction skills right there, knowing who his man was. Well, not man, but knowing his area in the zone and seeing an open receiver and just basically pursuing anything before it actually happened. So I'll show at least a few instances of McKinney being used on a blitz, and he is just really good at it. I mean, a lot of times he's untouched because, there's just too many guys to block for LSU or any offense that they're playing against. So sometimes McKinney has a free lane, but he is very quick at getting to the quarterback. His pursuit, I know he's a 4.63 guy according to the combine, but like his short short area quickness, I guess you can call it, was very impressive. So he's right here, arrow pointing to him, very convenient. He hits Burrow pretty damn hard on this play. He knocks him over. You can't really see another angle, unfortunately, but you watch Burrow right here releasing the ball. I'll try to play it very slowly. And, wait, hold on. This is how you do it slowly. He hits Burrow pretty darn hard. He knocks him down for sure. Pass went incomplete. So, he didn't do like a crazy amount on this play. He literally just had to run straight and, go through the open gap and just hit the quarterback. But that's a pretty good hit, and it's legal. So I like what I saw right there. And he made another play in this game, I believe, blitzing as well. So we'll get to that later. So speaking of blitzing and being a good playmaker, the example is right here, actually. I was unaware. So McKinney is, I believe, the last guy, maybe right here or right here, one of these two. Basically has a free lane to the quarterback. The left tackle tries to hit him at the last second, but by that point it was too late. And he basically hits the ball out from Burrow, and my guy Terrell Lewis, who I think is very underrated, by the way, makes the interception. So it was pretty simple. Just a straight line to the quarterback. None of these receivers in the bunch here actually tried to attempt to chip McKinney or anything like that. And it looked like the left guard had the responsibility here on this defensive tackle. Left tackle tries to kick out last second. Burrow does not step up in time or even release the ball in time. And McKinney hits the ball out from behind them and then basically falls into the arms of his own teammate. So it's a great play. I mean, once again, it just shows that quickness he has. And I don't buy into the whole 4.6 thing. I just think that's a fluke. A lot of times, 40 times, you have to just have good technique at running 40s. It's not really a thing that should determine your speed. I know it's dumb to say, but the guys who have the best technique often run the better 40 times, if that makes sense. So McKinney right here, just once again, that short area quickness gets to him very quick. Knocks the ball out before it could even be completed. It might have been a decent gain too, because they had Edwards-Helaire against what looks like a linebacker here. So this zig or whatever it is, this out and in route basically would have been a nice completion for probably a first down if he hits him in stride. So this play definitely prevented something potentially big from happening. So a nice job by McKinney right there. All right, so we have back-to-back plays here. I'll try to get this in without screwing it up. So right here, he's basically playing on the outside linebacker position in a 4-3, of course, and he has a pretty good anticipation of where the ball is going. I think, once again, just reads the quarterback's eyes pretty well. This pass was completed, I believe. Yes, maybe. I don't know. Doesn't show you long enough, of course, but you see right here, I mean, he was close to making a play on this ball. He's right here. Ball's not in his hands yet. I honestly don't know where the ball is at this point. I think it's this thing right here. I can't even tell because it's too blurry, but he does a good job in pursuit right there. I like that. Him and Trayvon Diggs did a good job of just hopping on that route as soon as possible. I know it was completed, but you see here, just the anticipation and knowing where the route's going, I think it was pretty good. He knows it's coming, and he was a tiny bit late. I wish he could have possibly intercepted this pass, obviously, but at the same time, did a good job. I think had his hands on the ball at the end as well. I obviously don't know what happened, but based on the next play being 30 seconds later, I'm sure it was a completed pass, and now they have it at 2nd and 4. So anyway, McKinney is right here. I actually forget what happens on this play, so let's let it roll and see what happens. Little flat pass to Edwards-Helaire. Does a good job. He actually wrapped up on this one. So once again, Little pass there, and he's so damn shifty, Edwards-Helaire. But he does a good job. He's holding on for dear life at this point, but has some help from his teammates as well. But he did a good job of wrapping up his legs at the end there. I think one leg was free, but did a good job of not letting go. So I will definitely take that, especially against a running back like this. So that's pretty good technique right there. Good pursuit once again. We'll see. McKinney's right here. It is good pursuit. I don't know if that was his man or not. I'm trying to see what defense they were playing. Yeah, it looked like zone once again. But yeah, he does a good job just getting in the flat and making that play happen in time, and they only pick up 1 yard off that. So here's McKinney in the box once again right here. Does a good job on this running play. I mean, he did miss a couple of tackles on the run before, but here we go. This is a good one. So, I mean, once again, it was a combined tackle. I think him and Terrell Lewis made this combined tackle right here, so it makes his job easier. But the thing I like here is that he's always digging at the ball. And I did criticize his tackling before about going up too high. This is a bit high. His left arm is basically around his shoulder, but I get what he's trying to do here. His teammate basically has him wrapped up. He says, you know what, let me go for the football here. And this guy creates turnovers. He's a playmaker. I love that stuff. And, unfortunately did not fumble the ball, but I see what he was getting at there. So I like what he did right there. That's a pretty good thing to do when your other teammate has a guy wrapped up, is just dig for the football. Sometimes he'll come up with a turnover that you probably don't deserve, but if the offensive player is being careless, then you take that turnover and you run with it, literally. So I just praised him for his last few running plays, but this one was not so good. So he's right here, and he's going to be one-on-one basically in the pocket, like right here. He has a very good chance to get a loss on this play, but that is not how it went. I mean, just a great spin move. Edwards-Helaire is able to jog in. As I said, this guy is going to be unbelievable for the Chiefs. I mean, it is not fair. So McKinney does a good job here of just getting around and just getting into the backfield, but you have to wrap up here. There's just nothing else I can say about it. He does a great job of spinning out of this, obviously. Not every running back is going to be Edwards-Helaire's level, but at the same time, you have to make sure you at least, stop him in his tracks. You can't let him get off without being touched, basically. If he was able to wrap up at least one leg, he would have given his teammates enough time to get over there. You see some of the defensive tackles, defensive ends creeping in here, so they probably would have had that stop. But when you completely miss on a tackle like this, that'll hurt your team a lot, and it's just you can't have it. That is not good. So he needs to wrap up his legs better there. That is definitely disappointing to see, and something that definitely has to be fixed at the next level. So McKinney already had a strip sack in this game and a quarterback hit at one point, a very nice quarterback hit, if I may say so. Here he is right here getting his second sack of the game and does a good job of not over-pursuing. I've watched so much college highlights lately, or just college game film, I should say, of guys over-pursuing this situation. I saw Cam Brown, I think, the Giants' sixth round pick, doing this an incredible amount of times, just over-pursuing a play. I don't know if it was Cam Brown. Now I feel bad if it wasn't him, but someone that we drafted was doing this way too often, where you basically have the quarterback wrapped up, for a sack, and then he just steps up in the pocket and you over pursue. McKinney does a good job right about here of just easing his momentum and saying, all right, I basically have this guy, let me just do the smart thing. I don't have to hit him at 100 miles per hour. Let me slow down to 30, 40 miles per hour and actually make sure I get this sack. And I love this. He has his legs wrapped up, and he goes down. He could have thrown this ball if his leg was wrapped, but he obviously would not have any momentum behind it, and then your cornerbacks and safeties can make a play on it. So I love right here just knowing to go from 100 miles per hour to, as I said, 30, 40 miles per hour right here. Does a good. I know Burrow steps up, and that's what you have to do, but as I said, I've seen so many college players just miss on sack opportunities like this, so to see McKinney actually finish this one off was actually very nice to see. So the first 2 seconds of this play are positive because I'll play it in slow motion here. He breaks a block here from, I think, Thaddeus Moss, but I don't think this guy's known as a blocker, which is why we went undrafted, I believe. So right here, he's going to break containment on this block, which is good. You shed that. Now he has Clyde Edwards-Helaire once again. His defensive tackle is already diving at his legs, and he somehow missed this. He got stiff-armed pretty badly into the dirt. Trayvon Diggs, not good technique there from either guy. So I think right here, it's kind of hard to say what he should have done. I think maybe he could have gotten out in front of him more and just stopped him and tried to basically run where he thought he was going to go, if that makes any sense, and just anticipate where he was going to run. Now, I said not to do that before, but here you have limited space. Like, the only thing Edwards-Helaire can really do is just run around the edge right here. I don't think he was going to cut back inside and try and go through here because there's too much traffic here. So the only thing he was going to do really is just run around this edge and try and get to that pylon on the right side. And that's what he did. He lays out this nice stiff arm and then just, breaks these arm tackles and just easily in for a touchdown. Not easily. It's a great freaking run. But so yeah, I think he could have went a bit lower and probably been out here instead. You know what I mean? It could have been out in front of the ball a little bit more. So that's, the one thing I critique about that. But yeah, just a guy's a great running back. So what can I say? But if you're going to be an NFL safety, you're going to have to be counted on to make tackles like this in the open field. This isn't even the open field, but just make a tackle like this. If you get stiff-armed, definitely not a good thing for your defense. And, of course, your cornerback not helping there with his tackling. So, yeah, obviously I wish he wrapped up on this play and somehow got to his legs and definitely went out in front of him more. I just think the positioning was off a bit here and just went too high once again. So it is what it is, and hopefully, as I said, this stuff gets fixed in the future. So here we are in the Auburn game, and here is McKinney on the right side of the screen here. He shows really good range on this play and actually lays out a pretty decent hit. So I think they send the wide receiver in motion, basically do a shovel pass, and he tries to run through all these, with these blockers on the left side here. But McKinney finds the open hole and just lays out a very nice hit. So you see the range right there. That's just a nice hit. I love that. That's really good. Yeah, see, I really have nothing bad to say about this play at all. It was just good pursuit, good range. Could have been blocked right here, but does a good job of just cutting inside and creating a good angle for himself. And it looked like there was an arm tackle being made right here, so I guess it made dishing out the hit a lot easier. And then by the time he adjusts back, he's basically getting blasted by McKinney. So good pursuit right there, a good range as well, and a good tackle. So this one's tough to judge. I cannot tell if this is a good play or a bad play. It's a very good result, obviously, for Alabama and McKinney, but I was not a fan of his placement on this tackle. So here he is right here. He's going to run up, and it looks like he was juked there, but somehow hits the ball out, and there wasn't a slow-motion replay, so I can't really show you exactly what happened here. But right about here, it looks like he's going to get juked, and you see him reach out with that left arm and punch that ball out. But if this ball wasn't punched out, that is an easy arm tackle to run through and probably a nice gain. I mean, he was wrapped up by this defensive end or tackle here, so I guess he might have been stopped. But at the same time, he didn't really do a good job of squaring up his tackle. But at the same time, really nice job of just punching out that ball with his left hand. I don't think it's his helmet. I don't know. His helmet's right here, so that's not it. I think he literally punched the ball out with his left hand. So I like that, but the whole squaring up your tackle thing was not great. But it is what it is. It's a good play. It's a playmaker's play once again, and obviously it's a turnover, so I can't say anything too bad about it. But I'm just saying, if he didn't hit the ball on this play, this might have been once again a solid gain for the running back. And I've seen McKinney at least a handful of times not react well to these juke moves, and I know it's tough obviously with these athletes, but then again, McKinney's a great athlete himself. Like a person like me obviously is going to get juked out of their shoes here, but I think McKinney probably could do a better job, but at least he gets his left hand in there and punches the ball out. So that's a really good play, and it's not the technique you love, but at the same time it is a turnover, so I guess we'll take it. So McKinney shows off the ball skills here, the range, all that good stuff. Of course, the guy does have good ball skills, is one of the things I like about him. So he starts here as basically an outside linebacker. And I think the quarterback, I think it's Bo Nix, did a pretty poor job of decision-making here. I'll show you why. So basically, they do a bunch of fakes in the backfield. Now, right here, if he dumps this ball out to his running back, there is a lot of open space. I don't know what was going on with the zone exactly. These guys seem too bunched up together. I'm assuming this linebacker probably should have been closer over here, but then again, I don't know Alabama's playbook, so whatever. But at the same time, when he's running up here, I think he might have glanced to his left, maybe. And it looked like he was maybe not, but he was wide open. This would have been a first down for sure. But anyway, so Nix throws it deep, and then basically the ball's ripped out by McKinney. Don't know if it was intercepted. I'm trying to see. Well, look based off the time. That's usually what will tell you. So same time. I think it was called incomplete because it's same time, and now it's a 3rd and 9. So I think, the ref called it incomplete. Actually, you could see him right here. My dumbass. It's right here, waving the pass incomplete. So it's a great play, though, by McKinney. This would have been a 15-yard gain or so. McKinney right here does a good job, and then basically just rips the ball out from him. That is a good. He's really good at attacking the ball. I mean, his tackling technique sometimes scares me, but like in terms of attacking the ball, he's phenomenal at it. So I love making plays, and he's a guy that'll definitely create some turnovers. He might miss some tackles here and there, but he will create turnovers. So I do think it's might be a relationship that's love hate sometimes, but at the same time, if he's creating a good amount of turnovers for the Giants, and this wasn't a turnover, it almost was. He almost actually caught the damn ball, but so yeah, if he does, get enough turnovers in the NFL, we'll like this guy a lot, and he does a good job here of just ripping the ball out. Wide receiver didn't see it coming, I guess, but it's a great play. Once he turned around, you can see makes the catch, turns his head, and McKinney's right there to rip it out. So almost had the interception, but we'll take the incomplete pass as well. So this is kind of like that play I showed in the LSU game where Joe Burrow was staring his guy down, but then once again McKinney does a good job here of basically staying with his guy. I know it's not man defense here once again, but still McKinney is actually right here. He's going to try and cover this. I don't know if it's a tight end, running back. It looked like a running back when I saw it. Oh no, I'm wrong. So he's right here actually. So I think this is the running back. Hold on. So yeah, the running back's to come out the backfield, and McKinney's basically going to try and stick with him in the flat. And he tries to push off with his left arm right here. You can see this, and both guys are locking arms. So I like that, right there by McKinney to try and basically counteract that move. So McKinney does a good, there's a bit of separation right there. I'm not going to lie, probably 1 yard of separation, but Nix is not going to throw this ball on a 3rd and 5. You are short of the sticks here, but McKinney right here does a good job. So I think he would have been in position to potentially make a play on the quarterback if he ran with the ball, and of course take away this passing lane. This was completed, I believe. Yes, it was. So it is what it is, and guys are still missing tackles, But McKinney here specifically, I think, did a pretty good job here of playing his zone and just getting out there in time and basically staying right behind that running back to not give him any separation. I mean, if McKinney fell for this and went for this run fake, it could have turned into something deadly, or even went for this fake because he would have been over here. Running back would have been wide open on this side of the field. So it's good play recognition and knowing what's going on, and he stuck with his guy pretty well there. So I liked what I saw. So here's McKinney as the single safety right here, and this is a missed tackle once again. So on this play, he probably should have went lower, meets him in the lane right there, and just gets his helmet blown off. I mean, he gets hit in the chest here. It was not a good look. There's two Alabama defenders basically hanging on this guy. Somehow he has the momentum to hit McKinney in the chest and keep going. So I think on this play, honestly, if you're McKinney, you probably just have to go for his legs. I know he's like, you see how his head is just so far down at this point. You have to get lower than he is at this point. So I mean, the ball carrier is a lot lower than McKinney is, and we all know leverage always wins usually, unless it's just someone's a lot stronger. But in a play like this, I would say this running back's probably 5'7", 5'8" at most, and McKinney gets absolutely steamrolled by him, gets his helmet knocked off, and it sucks to dive at a guy's legs. Like, I've never played organized football, but I've done it before with my friends in tackle football. I actually bruised my ribs doing this one, so it hurts like hell. But when you wear all this protection and stuff like these guys are, sometimes you gotta dive at their legs. That's just what you gotta do, and you can't have that, especially from a guy who's 5'7", 5'8", and it's a very close game. It's a 5-point game in the fourth quarter, so you have to make this stop here. I know it would have been a first down regardless, but at the same time, you could have kept him out of the end zone and try to get a goal line stand, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. So here's an Ole Miss game from 2018. So this is against DK Metcalf, A.J. Brown. A.J. Brown nearly won Rookie of the Year last year, and he's actually against A.J. Brown right here. So here's McKinney. I believe Brown is number 1 right here. He's definitely not this guy, so I believe he's right here. Has been man coverage. It's actually a rare man coverage look from what we've seen. It's mostly been zone tonight. So it does a pretty good job here. I mean, at first he kind of, got fooled, acting like he was going to go deep. I would say right about here. So he kind of pushes off there a bit, but that's what receivers do. Turns around from the ball. So if he hit him in this area, it would have been a completion. But I think that's what the quarterback was going for, actually. No, he brought it back down. You see these linebackers here jumping from the ball. His pass was actually deflected. McKinney does a good job, though, of just, recovering here, staying with it. And even if this ball was thrown to A.J. Brown in stride, it would have been probably knocked away. I mean, he was in great position to make a play on this ball. It was knocked down, so it's kind of a pointless point here. But at the same time, I think he would have been in a great position right here to make a play if he was going over the middle with the ball, which I think he was. I kind of wish it wasn't batted, but it is what it is. It was pretty good technique to stay with him. I know at first it was a bit rough, but then right here recovers nicely, stays with his guy, and basically the team knocks the ball away. So McKinney was put in a tough spot right here. I believe A.J. Brown's guy is right here, actually. He was sent on a blitz. So when you have your nickel corner blitzing here, they're going to have McKinney basically take his man in man coverage. And he's going to run like a deep slant right around here, I would say, right around the Ole Miss logo. And McKinney could have reacted a bit earlier to it, but that's a dangerous game to play, honestly, because it is completed for about 15 yards. But here's the dangerous part. So if McKinney jumps this route right here, if he sees this coming and undercuts this, it could be a great play for a pick six. And we actually see one later in this game. Actually, I don't know if it was a pick six, but he does undercut a ball later in this game. I think it was this game at least. But right here, he could have made a break on the ball, right? Read the quarterback's eyes. But the downside is, look how great the protection is right here, right? This quarterback's not even close to getting touched. The bad part is he could have pump faked here. McKinney could have went all out for it and basically just jumped for nothing. And then A.J. Brown would have been wide open downfield. So that's the downside of it. Sometimes you have to play it a bit safe. So I understand it from that perspective. So you can argue it both ways. You can say, well, he could have made a jump on this ball, but at the same time, he has to be conservative because if he jumped and the quarterback pump fakes, that is definitely probably a 70-yard touchdown for A.J. Brown. So I get where both sides would come from on this play, but I kind of wish he went for it, but it is what it is. I guess it could have been a lot worse. It is a 15-yard gain, so there was two ways he could have went about that, so it is what it is. So McKinney is on this combined tackle that actually forces a fumble. He's right here. I'll play it again for you guys. I don't think he was the one that forced the fumble, but of course he was a big part of this play. So McKinney is right here. He's playing like a slot corner role, I guess you can call it, because they have bunches up here. And McKinney, it's basically a quarterback draw. That was the design. He just takes one step back and just goes for the first down marker. But you see McKinney right here. He's all over it. Good recognition. And then he hits him from the right side. Teammate goes for the ball, hits the ball with his helmet, it looks like, at least. Play it in slow motion. Looks like that. He got hit hard. I feel bad for that guy. But ball's knocked away. Alabama recovers. So a nice job right there, I would say, by McKinney and whoever just made the hit with the fumble. It was good play recognition. I like that a lot. I mean, obviously, once you pass that line of scrimmage, you got to run with the ball. And McKinney does a good job of hitting him here. He did wrap up pretty well around the waist, so I like that. And his teammate comes in and forces the fumble. Hopefully this guy will be Jabril Peppers next year. Hopefully we'll see Xavier McKinney wrap up, and then we'll have Jabril Peppers come in for a fumble. So I would love to see that happen in New York. So I talked about probably a couple plays ago how he could have jumped that route against A.J. Brown, but sometimes it's good to pick your spots and be responsible. So on this play, the corners are in man, so man here, man here, man here. Then we have the two safeties up top that are going to split. And, you're going to have one guy here, which was supposed to be McKinney's job. McKinney, though, does a good job of reading this quarterback's eyes right here. He's reading the quarterback's eyes the entire time. Doesn't even go out here like he was supposed to, right? Like, I'm pretty sure on this play he was supposed to be out here, but he reads the quarterback's eyes. I'm sure he's seen a million slant routes this game. It is 52-7. I cannot believe that score, but this receiver right here runs the slant, and he sees it coming the whole way. They probably ran that play a bunch of times this game, and he says, you know what, I've seen this enough. Let's take this to the house. So I'm pretty sure, they give us a replay here, which is surprising. That's like the first one I've seen today. So, yes, we circle that guy. He's going to cover out there. So I think what he's saying here is, this safety was supposed to cover out here. It is basically like man, and you can have like two safeties high to cover each side of the field. So basically like a cover two look for safeties. And McKinney was supposed to go out here, but basically he just stays in this area. He basically knows what's coming and just takes advantage here and just jumps the route for a pick six. So I don't know if this is just comes from watching a bunch of film or just seeing it happen enough in this particular game, but it's just great recognition, great knowledge of knowing what's going to come, and he does a really good job here of eyeballing it the whole way. The quarterback did a bad job of eyeballing it the whole way, but as for McKinney, he does a really good job of jumping this route, knowing what's coming, and coming away with the pick six. So this play might have been my favorite. He was put in a very tough spot here. It looks like man defense based off what the cornerbacks were doing on the outside. I could be wrong. So I think it's going to be a single high safety for McKinney. He basically has two guys here to account for it. It was actually pretty funny. So at this point, McKinney basically has to, I guess this guy beat his man. I don't know if it was him or if it was him. I guess somebody missed the assignment there. And then McKinney has to cover this guy as well. So it's a 2-on-1 situation. And McKinney, you'll see the replay, does an incredible spin move and somehow intercepts this ball. It's just great body control and focus to even make this play. We'll show you the replay. All right, let's circle him again. So this safety comes down. I'm trying. I don't know who should have. I guess this safety. Well, he's in the flat, but I don't really know who was supposed to guard this dude right here. I mean, that's the problem. Let's see. I don't know if somebody bit hard on the play fake. It might have been this guy. Honestly, he might have supposed to stay with the tight end. So that could have been the issue. But right here, McKinney is in a one-on-two situation for him, and we see it developing. We have him. Both guys are going deep. McKinney was gonna go to the left side initially, but he makes just this crazy spin and somehow intercepts the pass. So I know this is against like Western, Carolina or some team I never heard of. So I mean, that's kind of a late hit, but So yeah, but this is a great play though. I don't care who it's against. This is a tremendous play to have the body control and the focus to even catch this ball and make a play on it. I thought was amazing in my mind. Probably one of my favorite plays from this entire review that I've seen so far of Xavier McKinney. So it's plays like this that gets me excited about Xavier McKinney. He's going to cover a running back. It looks like man coverage here. And he's going to try and run like an out and in basically behind his tight end, who's just basically running the same route, I think, right here. Similar route. And McKinney right here is going to jump this thing, and basically I think it creates an interception. I'm not sure if it was intercepted, but it might have been. I'm not positive, but still, the ball popped up in the air. He had great timing on this play. I love this when cornerbacks or safeties, defensive backs, whoever can time a ball like this perfectly. I mean, you can argue maybe he got there a bit early, but when you can time a ball like this and pop it in the air, that is going to create turnover opportunities for your defense. So I absolutely love that. He was in man coverage. I know it's Arkansas, and this is not Christian McCaffrey or even his current teammate Saquon Barkley here, but at the same time, it is good anticipation and timing that ball perfectly and knocking it in the air to create a turnover. So as I said before, he is a turnover machine, McKinney. He could definitely show that in the NFL. So my overall takeaway, I'll let this play as I think this is the last play I have here. So my overall takeaway is he will miss some tackles here and there, but the way he attacks the ball and all that type of stuff, and even on passing plays, he will create a lot of turnovers in the NFL. So he might have plays here and there where he's in the open field with a running back or even a wide receiver, and he'll miss a tackle, and you'll just want to bang your head against the wall. But then he'll make plays like this one in particular, that or even the last one where he had that spinning interception, that crazy play, where he does stuff like that and you fall in love. So it's going to be probably some rough stuff at first, and they might fix his tackling technique. I know Joe Judge has said the whole practicing in pads thing, if they actually do have practices this year. I hope they do, but hopefully they have some sort of training camp. So if they do practice in pads, hopefully they can sort this tackling issue out with McKinney, because I do think it's fixable. It's not like the guy's unathletic and just can't tackle guys. I just think it's a technique issue, and I probably don't know the perfect tackling technique, but from what I saw, he was tackling too high and didn't really go for guys' legs enough, or even tried to wrap up on some tackles. So, if they can fix that stuff, I think he can be a complete safety. I think right now there are some issues to iron out, but for the most part, they have a guy here with a ton of upside. So that's the important thing. A guy that probably should have been a first-round pick that they get in the early second round. So that is something to love, and I'm very happy about this pick. He has a ton of upside, and I am excited about it. So if he can create all these turnovers in the NFL and fix the tackling issue, I do think he'll be a very good pick, obviously. Good return on their investment. So that'll do it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Leave the next player you want me to do in the comments. I'm going to try and get to at least, the higher picks at like Darnay Holmes and Shane Lemieux. Matt Parrott was already done. I could do more games of Andrew Thomas. I'll try and find more clips of him if possible. Maybe Cam Brown. I don't know if we want to get into the 7th round guys, but I guess we can do that possibly. So let me know who you want to see in the comments, and I'll go over those for you guys hopefully in the coming few weeks or so. So we'll get to that. But thanks for watching, guys, and I'll talk to you next time.